Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Hello, leader. Welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast and to the first episode of the new year 2023. This is Kaylee here, and I am recording this week's episode, from our local mountains where I came with my family to enjoy some holiday downtime, to relax, to recharge, and to refocus, and of course, to celebrate the many accomplishments, and more importantly, to honor the adversities that through the struggles will strengthen myself, my team, and our business. Really looking back and reflecting on 2022, I really think that in the end, as tough as the hardships are, while we're experiencing them, prevailing through them feels so damn good. So I don't know if you're in the same boat as me where you had maybe a hiccup or two this past year and it feels so crappy when you're going through it, but there's just nothing as rewarding as sort of emerging through that and feeling stronger than you were, before you went into it. And so as I come together with our academy next week, we're going to be discussing key priorities for the year. We'll talk about 3 of them, not 20, not even 10, just 3 areas of focus to enter into the next season of growth. And this exercise is so important for me because I get to tap into some genius brain work with my brilliant fellow female business owners, but also because sharing our priorities out loud in a group with women who will hold you accountable to them, that's a whole different experience than clinking the champagne glass on New Year's Eve and declaring your New Year's resolutions. Instead of resolutions, we talk about habits over here. If you haven't noticed by last week's episode, appropriately titled 5 Habits to Break in 2023, because it's the routine, the consistency, and it's the commitment to doing basic things really well that actually make significant impact. And I was asked to create an episode about habits versus resolutions to kick off the new year. But to be honest with you, I think you all know this already. And I think you can learn about habits from James Clear, and you can YouTube how to set goals. Instead, I want to just spend a few minutes sharing with you something that you might not expect in the spirit of everyone's rah, wind me up and let me loose energy transitioning into the new year. Instead, I want to talk about what 2023 will actually require of you as a leader as you prepare to endure new seasons of growth. And I'm using the word season here purposefully because this year, above the past 6 years that I've been consulting with aesthetic practices, I've noticed more business owners screeching to a growth plateau, burning out, or watching their businesses implode because they neglected to honor what I consider to be the most important season of growth, which is resetting. As entrepreneurs, we're systemically focused on achieving the next growth milestone. In fact, our mission as a company is to help 1,000 inspiring and intentional women cross the next $1 million benchmark in their business. But truth be told, sometimes we have to help our clients slow down their immediate or short-term growth in order to achieve this milestone sustainably. And no business owner, trust me, wants to acknowledge that they've had slow growth for a year or maybe a no growth year. And it certainly doesn't really help me as a business coach. Doesn't sound very super sexy for like a business advisor to come to you and say, hey, come work with me and let me help you slow down your growth, right? I fully recognize and honor that. But I think a lot of practices in our industry are experiencing shame or frustration or confusion behind closed doors around the fact that they may have had 5 years of rapid expansion and then they're suddenly finding themselves in the midst of chaos. They've never been told, oh, it's okay to go through a year of reorganization, of getting your systems in order. of team building, of readjusting infrastructure, of realigning strategy, or just a year of slowing down to revisit personal core values even, or to discern which direction they even want to take the business in going forward. We recently had a Confidence to Scale student come through our program with the sole purpose of learning how to put the systems in place to get her business ready to sell. And going through this process made her really fall back in love with her business, and she changed her mind about her exit plan entirely. This really took slowing down. And sometimes I think when we have this momentum going, like we're on a roll, we don't want to slow that momentum down, right? And especially in our industry, the aesthetic industry has experienced a lot of tailwind over the past couple of years with the post-pandemic wellness surge, great economy, peaked interest by private equity investors, and an onslaught of demand for aesthetics in general. But as we transition into 2023, economic cycle changes are going to impact the passive and, quite frankly, sloppy growth that so many aesthetic businesses have experienced. For many new businesses that were started really in the past 10 years, this will be new for you. And if you're one of them, this is going to be an important message for you today, because businesses with strong positioning, strong infrastructure, and a strong team are going to literally steal market share this year because of the investments its leader has made around business readiness and sharpening their emotional leadership through times of adversity. The Great Reset of 2023 is about making equivalent investments into the customer journey, customer success rate, the customer experience, outcomes, retention, and infrastructure as we do in sales and marketing. It's not really about finding new business, but instead rebalancing focus on what's happening inside your company so you can keep customers and team and really place emphasis on improving your workflow, your holistic outcomes, your long-term care plans, and your proprietary methods. This leader is all inside stuff. This is all an inside job. And it takes an immense amount of time and resources and, quite honestly, patience. This isn't a sexy rebrand, a new website, a new logo, new announcements, big launches. It's about recognizing and honoring the season you're in, focusing on building a company that produces excellent, repeatable outcomes instead of running obsessively on the hamster wheel of making these huge investments into sales and marketing. 2023 will bring a lot of positive pressure to our industry to over-deliver and wow clients. And I honestly think that this is a good thing. As a former business coach of mine said in her recent podcast, Kelly Roach, if you don't choose the season is going to choose you. She would tell you that there isn't a business that doesn't need a reset. It's very rare for someone to want to slow down their business or choose to go through this, but it has to happen. And so what I want to offer you today, leader, in alignment with this ideology is that building a great company from the inside out is absolutely what it takes to experience sustainable, joyful growth. In the end, this will be a tremendously lucrative endeavor for you because this is ultimately what will give you staying brand power. People will stay longer. They will spend more money. They will tell more people about you. Okay, so stop fighting this season and embrace your great reset of 2023. And if you are experiencing fear around slowing down, you're not alone. And you're in absolutely the right place because I'm here to help you through this process. And I have a community of badass entrepreneurs who are ready to welcome you with open arms into an ecosystem where we build deeply fulfilling freedom-based businesses the right way. Okay, leader, that's all I have for you today. And by the way, we are kicking off our winter session of Confidence to Scale next week. So if you are ready for a 6-week reset that will get you on track to take your business past its next $1 million milestone, you better get your booty in the room. And you can apply today at klcconsultants.com/scale. All right, Happy New Year, Goddess. I will chat with you next week. Wait, before you go, hey, if you're vibing with this conversation and you want to join me on my mission to help 100 inspiring and intentional women cross the next $1 million milestone in their business this year, or leader, maybe you want to become one of them, head over to Facebook and join our free community, the Fierce Factor Society. Over there, we're taking this conversation to an elevated level. Get access to resource guides, podcast supplements, guideposts, and direct communication with me, my expert team, and of course, a society of fierce women making big moves and disrupting the status quo in aesthetic wellness. You can link directly through the show notes or head to Facebook and search the Fierce Factor Society. See you there, goddess.